Remember, you only have 5 more days to submit your audition to be one of the Cartoon Conspiracy hosts, and don't worry, Jacob and I aren't going anywhere. You can submit your audition to frederatorconspiracy@gmail.com and check the description below for the official rules. The moment Morty turned him over, Pickle Rick took the world by storm. With season 3 just on the horizon, Pickle Rick's debut remains highly anticipated by many of the show's fans. At face value, Pickle Rick is just Rick Sanchez as a pickle, the newest Rick iteration since the beloved Tiny Rick. But because we here at Cartoon Conspiracy love to speculate, we wanted to get a head start on the season and ask why. Hey everyone, I'm Justin with Channel Frederator, and today we're going to dig deep into the mysterious life and times of Pickle Rick. For starters, what do we really know about Pickle Rick? Well, we know that he's Rick as a pickle. We know that Morty discovers him in the season 3 trailer, and we also know that there will be an epic fight scene involving Pickle Rick with insect and rat limbs, the bare bones of which were shown at Comic-Con 2016. And that's really it. It's really not much to go on, but it's so enticing that fans erupted in speculation. Let's start with the basic question. Is this our Rick, Rick C-137? While we don't have any conclusive information, we do see our Morty discovering Pickle Rick in what seems to be safe to assume is Rick C-137's garage. So it's incredibly likely that Pickle Rick is simply Rick C-137 in pickle form, just as Tiny Rick was Rick C-137 as a teenager. By the way, notice I'm not referring to our Morty as Morty C-137. That's a conspiracy for another time. Now for a harder question, why a pickle? If Rick was going to steal the body parts of a dead rat, shouldn't he have just become Rat Rick in the first place? Although you have to admit Rat Rick doesn't have the same satisfying ring that Pickle Rick does, and that could be exactly the point. After all, we're talking about the show who gives its characters names like Mr. Poopy Butthole and Principal Vagina, and the show also got Werner Herzog to do a monologue about the human penis.
Their entire culture is built around their penises.
As intelligent as Rick and Morty is, showrunners Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon have clearly shown a love for the absurd and lowbrow. The better question from the point of the view of the writers might actually be, why not Pickle Rick? So that's one answer, but don't worry, there's a smarter, more involved one. You see, pickles are acidic because they're pickled. We won't go into the exact science of it because, don't get us wrong, we hated chemistry just as much as you did, but suffice it to say that acids are great conductors of electricity. The stronger the acid, the better the conductor. Pickles aren't crazy acidic, they're about 5 on the pH scale, and if you must know, the closer to 1, the more acidic something is. So, while Lemon Rick could have had some serious electrical power, and probably a tie-in with the Earl of Lemongrab from Adventure Time, in our cartoon version of chemistry, using a pickle would actually enable Rick to send some kind of electrical current from his brain to the limbs that he adds to his pickle body. Yes, this is as ridiculous as it sounds. After all, your normal fleshy body moves thanks to electrical signals. It's dangerously close to faux science, but ta-da! Now the really hard questions. Where is Rick in the Comic-Con clip? What is he doing, and why is something as small and innocuous as a pickle the best method of accomplishing whatever he needs to get done? Granted, this is Rick Sanchez we're talking about. I have a few rather spoilerific hunches on this one, so you've been warned and hear me out. Rick could be taking a smaller, sneakier, faster form in order to stage a prison break, and releasing all of the ex-Galactic Federation's prisoners just to increase pandemonium across the multiverse seems like a very Rick thing to do. Or he could specifically be hoping to break out good old Squanchy. We don't really know what happened to Squanchy after the epic fight in the season 2 finale, but I would have to guess he's probably tied to one of those depressing platforms. However, given that the Galactic Federation collapses in the first episode of season 3, it's rather likely that the prisoners have already been busted from the inside out. But the more intriguing reason for the existence of Pickle Rick still lies with the season 2 finale. What if Rick is hunting down Tammy and in the rat clip has broken into her very secret looking, very high-tech looking stronghold that was teased at the end of season 3 episode 1? Why? To bust out Phoenix Person, of course. Actually, you know, I take that back. I wouldn't traipse into a villainous lair with a body as a small pickle if you were planning on some righteous friend napping. However, you might desire a significantly smaller body if you were doing some recon. We think Rick could be spying on Tammy using his pickle bod to gather information about her, who she works for, what her motivations are, and most importantly, what her weaknesses are. Because Rick is probably hungry for some delicious revenge after that red wedding. Well, not that red wedding, but you get what what I mean. We have no reason to believe that Rick has any reason to believe that Bird Person is still alive, or some version of Bird Person. Anyway, I mean, I certainly didn't see Phoenix Person coming, but then again, Rick has outsmarted me multiple times through the television. But this theory also relies on Rick having tender emotions and fierce loyalty. Rick's supposed emotional weak spots have popped up unexpectedly throughout the show, and it's been hinted for a long time that Rick might actually feel for his family and close friends, a list which seems to end at Bird Person and Squanchy. But Rick's emotional vulnerability is something you should never count on, like ever. Morty's learned that the hard way several times. In the end, I think the theory that Rick might have shrunken himself into an electrically conductive pickle to get revenge for Bird Person sounds pretty reasonable. And honestly, I'd give this theory 4 blips and shits tickets out of 5. Or, you know, it could be a type of lagoon-based bat signal for an epic merging of Rick and Morty and VeggieTales. That's the one that I want. Please give us that. I can't be the only one that want to see Bob the Tomato and Morty have to deal with Rick and Larry in the same room. That just sounds ridiculous. I know I'm not the only one that's wanted that for quite some time. If you actually research online, there's so many people dying for that crossover. Actually, it's just me. For what reason? I don't even know. I mean, in Rick and Morty, we have Rick as a pickle and him talking about McDonald's sauce. So at this point, anything seems to be game. But hey, that's just what we think, and we want to know, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Channel Frederator and click that little bell icon to join our awesome notification squad so you don't miss any of our daily videos. New episodes of Cartoon Conspiracy drop every Thursday, and if you're not sick of me, you can go check out my own personal channel, Stuff with Scoutfly, in the description down below, and as always, don't ever forget, Frederator loves you.